Member from Burnaby-Deer Lake.
Thank you, Honourable Chair, and it gives me a great deal of pleasure to move a motion, be it resolved, that this House call on the BC Government to fully support adult basic education programs as a critical component of job readiness and training. Jeff Plant, in his report Campus 2020 several years ago, said, quote, "Failure to complete high school limits job and career options and is often associated with poor life outcomes such as higher criminality, poorer health, and a greater dependence on social services. It holds individuals back from realizing their potential. It holds back our collective economic and social progress. The public interest in eliminating barriers to participation in post-secondary education requires that no tuition be charged to any adult learning seeking to upgrade their education by completing high school courses." End of quote. To its credit, the provincial government agreed, and starting in 2008, adults in this province could take courses to finish or upgrade their high school free of tuition. And there was a great uptake, Mr. Speaker. Thousands of British Columbians have accessed adult education to improve their lives. Adult basic education, where hardworking British Columbians who want to get better jobs, look after their families and their futures, take courses to finish high school or upgrade so that they can go to college or university to get further technical training. These are people who are trying to do everything that is right, often struggling, and I've heard many stories, often struggling with and juggling family commitments and work commitments, but still striving hard to do better. These courses open up a wide range of possibilities for single parents, older workers laid off from resource industries, new immigrants, and many, many younger people who for a variety of reasons could not finish high school. Now, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, the Liberal government has reversed that policy, turned its back on that public interest, and is recreating barriers to participating in education and in life. The BC Liberal government has made the short-sighted and ill-advised decision to eliminate the direct funding of tuition-free upgrading programs, and to use the words of the North Island College Working Group, quote, "We believe this decision erodes rather than provides the strong economic future and greater access to the labour market for all British Columbians, and it continues to exclude our most vulnerable citizens from full participation in both educational institutions and the labour market." End of quote. This move affects people, immigrants, whose credentials may not be recognized. People like Walid Harous, who I introduced a few minutes ago, an immigrant from Tunisia who needs to redo courses in order that he can qualify to go to BCIT to become a petroleum engineer, but will have to pay for them. Largely women are affected, often single parents like Halima Yusuf, who stayed home to raise her children, is now a single mom and who says she wants to get an education to make her life and her children and her grandchildren's lives better. She can't pay $550 a course. In a province that already has some of the highest levels of poverty and inequality in Canada, slamming the door on access to basic education is exactly the opposite of what we should be doing. I know government members are going to stand up and say there are grants, but these grants are bureaucratic nightmares. Many are not, will not qualify for those grants, and trying to process them is going to redirect precious and shrinking resources to staff who must process them. They don't help if, like Walid, you're working full-time as a busboy, making slightly more than the cutoff, but not enough to pay the rent, and they don't apply at all to the thousands taking courses through the school board. And it doesn't help, Mr. Speaker, that programs are being closed. For example, the Vancouver East Education Centre is closing this June. In Vancouver alone, these cuts are going to affect about 2,000 adults a year, and that's repeated at boards across the province. Mr. Speaker, I would hope that just once the members on the other side of the aisle would throw down their caucus staff talking points and demand some answers from their colleagues and stand up and say, this makes no sense, it is bad for people, it is bad for our province, and will damage the future of this province and damage the lives of people.